It's Wednesday.
I know.
It's Wafflers Wednesday time.
It's hump day. We've made it halfway through the week.
Hey.
I love that description, and I'm going to get locked up if I start a discussion about it now.
Yeah.
The childish part of me, still, I can't get beyond the word hump day.
Nice.
I'm very sorry. It's very childish. It's very immature, but it still makes me giggle.
Oh, definitely.
It's a me thing.
But yeah, nice. I'm hoping that people will join us tonight because, for a change, we're not on both platforms. We're only on YouTube because we've had a few issues with Facebook.
We're
past
trying
few
some
weeks.
things out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know something? Because I know you're very much into your IT, Ben. And
I turn it off and turn it back on.
Yeah. But we did try that last week. And actually, one of the things that I think for everybody watching, we're just going to trial for the next few weeks, going to trial this whole sort of bit where we're going to do YouTube tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to try and see what we can do with Facebook next week and Facebook alone.
Yeah.
And then the third week we'll try both of them again.
Back on this.
And we still think there's an issue. So actually, whatever platform we're on, we'll be here every single Wednesday, usual time. And if we're not on Facebook, come across to YouTube because we'll be on YouTube.
And do you know what? I have an easy way to find us as well. If you go onto our website, at the top, if there's a live button now.
Oh.
If you click on that, it will take you straight to our YouTube channel, and it would take you straight to the embedded version of our live stream.
That's a bit clever.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that.
I know.
I like that.
You've been playing.
Trying to make it easy for people to find us.
I told you he was a tech person. So actually, I don't need to do that whole malarkey thing, right? Where I get YouTube up on one tab, then I get Facebook up on another. I can just go to our website.
Yep.
Yeah. What we'll do,
That's it, like that.
give me 2 seconds. I'm going to try something. It's probably going to go completely wrong here. But
I could be talking to myself for the next 58 minutes.
You could be.
well, you know what
Let's
happens
open
when
it up.
when I play with things to see what happens.
Could be good.
So I'm
Could be good.
hoping on the screen you'll be able to see our website.
Hey, look.
So there is our website. Let's see. So at the top here, you have live. And it takes us straight to our website. So you just got home and live right at the top.
That's dead clever.
And it takes you straight to it.
Love it.
So
for anyone watching in black and white, that is www.gbmickeywaffle.com. And we're actually that is great, Ben. That's going to say, do you know something? That saves me having to scroll through Facebook because obviously being such a Facebook aficionado that I am,
oh yeah.
I find it dead hard to find all the live stuff, and I end up scrolling through loads of stuff, and then I end up waiting for someone else to share it, and then I can jump in on it. So
that's the thing. It's all about sharing it, and I think we found with Facebook is that it depends who's sharing it. Depends on who sees it. So the quickest way for people in the chat to share it with someone now is if you just click the like button. YouTube and its algorithms will share us with other people that like Disney stuff. So
just by clicking the like button, which has only got 3 likes so far, I hasten to add. It's now got hey, look at that. People are listening.
People are listening. Now. There we go.
Got 5. Like it. Thank you very much.
That's all right. There's 6 people watching, so someone hasn't liked it yet. So
you know who you are.
Yeah.
Maybe. That might be the other. That could be the other tab I've got open.
That probably is.
Yeah. See if I can like it twice. That'd be good.
But yeah. So. Oh.
But yeah, it's an unfortunate one because I know there's lots of people who join us in the Wafflers Arms, and we are very sort of Facebook centric. But bear with us, we will get there. We will.
And also, let us know what platform you prefer, because I know some people like Facebook, some prefer YouTube, some watch us live, some watch us on the replay. So we want to say thank you to anyone that takes the time to watch back, whether it be on a Thursday, Friday, or any time.
Or 3 weeks later.
Yep.
We don't mind. Yeah. We're just grateful you watch.
But that's part of the fun, though, isn't it? And actually, I was quite astounded because this is something that's kind of crept up on us without us making too much of a song and dance about it. Because we do like to make a song and dance about things.
Oh yeah.
But this is actually our 50th Wafflers Wednesday.
It is.
50. How did that happen? from something that started with a conversation on a Wednesday night all about WandaVision, and we've talked about so many amazing things, and actually I think we'll probably go back and revisit some of them. We've done
car hire or car rental.
Car hire, hidden Disney details, extinct attractions, Disney Cruise Line, Epcot extinct attractions, hidden Mickeys, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, more WandaVision, Disney Value Resorts and moderate resorts and posh resorts that we all like to dream of staying in the Grand Flow and things like that.
Disney Queues was one of my favourites.
Yeah.
Just how British is that being in the queue?
Yeah. And then also there was that one, the VIP tours.
Yes.
Where you found
the momentous occasion
that we actually found live on air, that Claire and I had been on the same tour, and I've got a picture of her son, and she's got a picture of us, and it's just like how absolutely crazy.
That's bizarre, isn't it? Really, it is.
It is, but 50 shows in, and it's great to see, because there's a lot of people just pushing across from Facebook when they realise, oh, hang on, they're not there tonight.
Yeah.
So spotting in the chat, there's some familiar names and stuff. But we can't do all of this on a Wednesday without people watching, because actually there's nothing worse than talking to yourself. I do that at home far too often, and nobody listens.
Nobody listens. People put their headphones in and go, no, I'm just turn up the music slightly more.
Yeah, exactly.
Or people are listening to it in Canto.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be the soundtrack that's doing quite well at the minute.
It's because it's a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a few weeks' time.
That is true. And also we'll be talking about John, how's your New Year's resolution going?
Yes.
Oh, I tell you what, this is going to be a recurring theme for Wednesday evenings, because actually, my New Year's resolution, for those people who've missed, I think it was in the podcast on
1st of January.
1st of January. Go back and listen to it. I'm not going to tell you what my New Year's resolution was here. You need to go back and listen. However, I am absolutely all over my New Year's resolution.
How many are we talking? 1, 2, 3?
One. You have to start with one.
One, but I went to the cinema, which was even better, because actually that was, like I said on the show last week, I've got a lovely local cinema, and they do have that sort of that feeling that it's like watching paint your wagon.
I thought you were going to say like watching paint dry.
So did I.
Well, it could have well been.
Depends on the film.
But actually, I was really fortunate. We went in, and actually, we found ourselves. I think there was only about 15 people in, which is a bit of a disappointment. But Spider-Man, as first proper Marvel film watch, I'm glad I went to the cinema to watch it. I was blown away. I took both of the kids. My youngest son is actually a real film buff. He knows his film stuff. My eldest son is less of a film fan, but he's the one that it's just had that little light bulb moment with, and similar to me, I was absorbed. I was expecting to have a little snooze about halfway through, because that's the cinema for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it was absolutely amazing, and on so many different levels. Not just the graphics, which are completely incredible, but the music as well. Once you start getting involved in the background music, the different characters, and then starting to think, I've missed something here, to which our Joe gets his phone out and he's like,
I'm Googling it.
And trying to draw together some of the extra information that we are obviously missing. Yeah. It was fascinating.
As this was your first Marvel film,
yeah,
did you stay till the end credits?
That's another really good story, because we did. Right, so we did, because I've used your advice. So we were sat there.
Because there's still some people now that when you're watching a Marvel film, what we're on like 23rd, 24th, 25th of them, and it's like, oh, you can tell they're not a Marvel fan because they're leaving early.
Yeah. Well, we were very fortunate that we knew that So we were sat there. Unfortunately, the other side to us, I and everybody else in the cinema decided it was home time. The other bit that was really funny was that the staff from the cinema, because there was another film starting not too long from the end of this one, they decided to come in with the Hoover. and so you know when you're in a classy place, isn't it? When the little Henry the Hoover comes out and the noise of the Hoover's drowning out the trailer. So it was a trailer for Hulk, and I'm thinking, shut up. I know there's more coming. There's more coming in. So we stayed, and we were
It's
the
like when
only
they turn the
one.
lights on, when it's like, yep, time to go.
I didn't turn the lights on as well. We were sat there. We just, no, we're staying here, lads. We're staying. But yeah, they started hoovering up, and I'm thinking, no, we're not moving. No. I've paid me money. I'm stopping. I know what's coming here. I know what's coming. I want to see it.
The price of cinema tickets, it's like, I want to see every single second of whatever's going to be shown on that screen, especially when you know what's coming up.
I think as well, and this is where this has become a little bit more, as a family, this has become a little bit more interesting, because like my eldest son, he'd text his mate to just say, oh, we've been to see this, and he then said, well, what we need to do for the next one is go on opening night.
Yeah.
Because on opening night, what he was saying is at the end, at the very end of the end of the end of the end, and after all the credits, people just stood up and just applauded everything that they'd actually seen. And I can understand that when you've actually got that deeper understanding, which I'm desperately catching up on. But it's absolutely brilliant. It took us by surprise. It took me a little bit sort of, I'm not going to swear. It took me, like, oh bother, I've missed a bit, but yeah, I can understand why, because it's not my genre of film.
Yep.
And actually, once you face up to that and actually watch it as a form of entertainment, it's as engaging and as absorbing as any TV series, as any sort of bit of live sport that you'd watch. It actually is. It stands up on its own 2 feet. And that's the bit where I was more pleased to understand what the cinema experience was, because now when I go and watch some of the other older stuff on Disney Plus, yeah, we might need a bigger telly in the house, but it's the overriding thing, and I was blown away by the soundtrack to Spider-Man. I just felt that was incredible. The storyline was incredible.
I just want to highlight actually that for our Wafflers Wednesday coming up. So tonight's our Genie Plus discussion.
Yeah,
we're going to get there. We're going to get there. The Festival of the Arts next week, which is just going to be on Facebook, and then we're back on both platforms for Spider-Man, and we're going to be joined by a couple of guests as well on the 26th of January. So note those in your diary, or if you head to our Facebook page, each week there'll be an event, so you can click in the calendar and it will remind you when we go live as well.
Can I equally add as well, a couple of guests know a whole lot more about Spider-Man and Marvel than I do. But
I think they might know more than all of us combined. I don't know.
It might end up being a discussion between the two of them, and we'll all just sit back.
That's all right. We get a night off.
Like that. That sounds good.
I'll get the popcorn.
Yeah. Now, do you know something? We're nearly 15 minutes in, right? I feel extremely rude because we have not welcomed people in. However, we have updated people with my quest for Marvel films. Yeah. And if you haven't seen Spider-Man, go and have a look. It's well worth it. Yeah. But
make sure you go after tonight's show, though. Please don't leave right now.
Go and watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, and if you want to see it in the Scarborough, it's on at 4:00 in the afternoon, which is really helpful.
Yep. And just think, as soon as it finishes, there's a vacuum cleaner with someone going round, just tidying up.
Do you know, so I was nearly not going to mention that tonight, but it spoiled it for me.
Yeah.
And I just thought, do you know,
it's frustrating, isn't it, when it's just...
Well, in fact, I'll have a little rant, right?
Go on, then.
Right, so here we are. There's 15 people in the cinema, right? And I'm sat there with my kids, and we actually decided, right, but we need some food because otherwise we need to wear a mask. So we play that little game.
Yeah.
Do we put anything on the floor? Do we actually drop anything? No, we don't. Because actually, that's quite rude. Actually, you feel as if you're in someone else's house. You should have seen what other people had left on the floor, and they actually needed to hoover up. It was disgusting. I'm thinking, any wonder cinemas are up against it, and this was just like, just
The worst thing I've seen in the cinema is when it's like people have got these slushy drinks, and it's like they go sticky. And it's like they'll just they spill it on the floor and they'll just leave it, and it's like
just leave it. Someone
it's
wrong.
Yeah.
I found out. I don't know. Like I say, it's a little bit of a mini rant, and it's a bit early in the show to be ranting about going to the cinema, isn't it? Like,
That's all right. We're talking about Genie Plus soon. We're warming up.
We're warming up.
Don't get me started on that one.
That's all right. Should we say hello to who we got in the comments? So who we got? We have Butch.
Yeah, but
Hi, Butch.
Butcher's first one in tonight. Thank you for joining us, Butch. And
we
have Wendy.
if you keep putting it up on screen, Ben, because I've just lost my other screen with all my chat comments.
That's okay. We've got Nick and Karen. Neil and Karen.
Neil and Karen.
I did what you just did.
I was going to say, I've done that before. I apologise. I apologised.
Yeah, there we
You're
go.
all right, Neil. I won't
Get there in a minute.
We will get there in a minute. Okay, we have Peter and Jill.
Codestals, Peter and Jill.
Hi, guys.
Enjoying the waffle and homemade blackcurrant ice cream.
That does sound nice.
Oh, hey, now there we
Let's
go.
give us the recipe.
Yeah.
I think that I can feel a live vlog thing coming on from Peter there. Cookery show.
Making ice cream.
Styly. Yeah, that sounds
As long as
fabulous.
I don't need an ice cream maker for it. I mean, I know where I can get one, but pain.
That's all right.
Hey, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Wendy, for letting us know. I understand that the Facebook YouTube thing is a bit of a difficult one at the minute, but we'll work out what platform works best. And
I think as well. I think it was Wendy who tagged. Basically, it was in the chat last week on Facebook, and it bumped her out, and then I'd seen a comment, and then went chasing it myself, and then I found the same thing happen on my Facebook feed of the show, and it was so strange. And I think what we're finding is it's not an us thing, it's a Facebook thing, because I was doing something on Friday night, watching a feed where a band were basically doing a live gig, but they were doing it across their own platform, but also on Facebook as well. And they found exactly the same thing. So I think I texted you at the time, Ben. It was about 18 minutes into their show, which I felt was similar, sort of timing-wise, to when Wendy had highlighted it for them. It seems to be something that Facebook are basically pushing people either towards their platform, or not wanting you to use YouTube as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Who are we to go against?
That is true.
Massive international companies.
John, you got some catching up to do.
Hey, there you go, Neil. 5th or 6th. There you go. Well done, guys. I'm impressed. That's good going. Hi, Sir. John.
Hi, John.
Really, great to see you again. Appreciate all of your support as always. Always there.
Hey, Claire.
Hi, Claire.
We'll get to those in a minute.
Yeah, cool. You'll come back to that. Come back to that shameless advertising coming up in a moment.
Hi, Grumpy Old Git.
Hi, Grumpy Old Git. Happy New Year.
Year.
I'm not seeing you for a bit, so good to see you back on the show. That's grand.
One day we're going to find out what your actual name is. Feels rude to keep calling you Grumpy Old Git.
I know, but it's great. I think it's a great name. That. I wish I'd thought of that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Hi, Simon. Robin.
The Watsons are with us.
I'd love to know what you're having for dinner tonight.
Yeah,
it might make me more hungry, but
yeah, they'll tell us.
So, is that ice cream out of a tub? Is that the cheese
recipe?
Oh,
yeah.
Cheese.
At which point, where can I buy it from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Claire. It
is causing
is.
issues.
So,
But
we will go wherever it works.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think as well, guys, and I think this is, if you're watching us, this is not just an us thing.
Yep.
Oh, it's something like the Watson has just let me down now. I'm just like,
I was thinking, okay, there's got to be something nice. It's going to be good. It
Jack-
just sounds.
jacket potato.
It sounds like January diet.
it does, doesn't it?
It really does. It's like, you know what? We've spent too much at Christmas. We've overindulged. We're still eating through our Christmas chocolate.
We are. Actually, some of that chocolate came back from Florida with us.
Yeah.
In fact, I've been really busy today. Did you not put that on our Twitter?
Yeah.
I was still eating chocolate. I never got any chocolate for Christmas at all.
Oh, no.
I just go and scram the kids, and it kind of disappears.
I got 2 boxes of Ferrero Rocher, and I've only just finished them.
Oh,
Normally they don't last very long. So
yeah. Now that sounds good. That sounds good.
Rumple's still.
I'm going to start calling you that now. If I remember.
Do you know, that don't tempt us. This could be a competition, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Talking of jacket potato, I can't remember who we were watching the other day on YouTube, but has anyone seen the jacket potatoes you can get at Universal Studios?
No.
Because it's one of the they do loaded potatoes from outside the Harry Potter Diagon Alley.
It wasn't Jackie, was it?
Yeah, Super Enthused. Yeah, Jackie.
Super enthused.
They look huge. I don't know.
I'm sure that was the last one we watched.
It's just
anyway.
I think like $8.50 for a loaded jacket potato, and it's like that big. I don't know how.
That big.
Yeah, pretty much it looked like that.
That sounds like a sort of
That sounds like
we will.
genetically modified potato.
It's a bit like the turkey leg version of a jacket potato.
Oh yeah, we need pictures. I think that's it. Let's get on to Jackie.
Ah.
Hey, I did Claire, didn't I? That was it. I think the kids scrammed that.
It didn't last long.
Yeah. It did. Yeah, it never does.
Don't leave chocolate lying around.
No, that's true.
Not in this house.
I didn't get chocolate for holidays either. You're right. Everything is bigger in America.
Yeah.
Cool. They did it as a snack credit.
That's a whole lunch.
Wow.
Wow.
Is that your way of trying to get us back on track, Claire?
See what Claire's pushing us towards this here, isn't she? You know,
We're 22 minutes in.
That's all right. Should we talk
That's
about
all right.
t-shirts?
Let's do t-shirts. Right? Yeah, let's do t-shirts.
Actually,
because look what I'm wearing today. Here we go. And everybody.
Let's see if this will work. There we go.
There we go. I'll just do that as well. I am, as anybody knows, I am a regular, different t-shirt for as many shows as I actually can. Usually trying to keep a theme. So if you go back and watch any of our other shows and you're wondering why the t-shirt's changed, I do try my best. If I got a t-shirt that will fit with the theme of the show, I will wear it. If I'm feeling particularly grumpy, the Mr. Grumpy Girls t-shirt comes out. However, we have actually started the ability to actually get t-shirts with a little bit of our designs on. So this is my Hollywood Studios one. Thank you very much. Nicely done. But we have other ones. Animal Kingdom one.
Love it.
So, and we've also got. You're gonna not
Did you
like
buy one of each, John? I just have to
No,
ask.
no, I didn't. I didn't actually. Actually, I've got to say, my family have been absolutely brilliant because we had a discussion about who would like which T-shirt, and so this is another one of mine. Because actually,
That's really good on the black.
Yeah.
I actually think on the black that's really good. This one on the blue is absolutely amazing because the detailing comes in. We've got another one of these on navy, which is absolutely spot on. It looks absolutely superb. The one that none of us have actually gone for yet is the Epcot one, and I actually really would like the Epcot one because I'm a massive Epcot fan. However, needs sort of must, and actually, when I went to TeePublic, I had to draw the line at a certain amount because I could have gone, and like you said, I could have got the whole lot.
Well, I would like to say someone has bought an Epcot one and isn't a waffler.
Oh,
Wow.
So whoever has bought a t-shirt, hopefully it'll be turning up very shortly.
yes. And when
Yeah,
it
it
does,
should be.
pop it in the Waffler's arms.
Yep.
Yeah, and what I'll do is I'll try and get a picture of all of these and put them in a Waffles arms. One of the things I would say, and I would say TeePublic have been absolutely brilliant with me, is we we ordered just as they actually went on sale on the online store.
Yep.
They have been behind because of Christmas and New Year. They were very, very apologetic in their emails that they sent to me. And rather than the just normal postage, we actually had it DPD that actually delivered it.
Oh, that's brilliant!
Wow.
So it was just to make that whole process a little bit quicker.
Yeah, you got yours from Redbubble. We thought we'd try one from TeePublic, one from Redbubble,
just to see what the different.
And Redbubble's delivery was very quick.
It was really quick.
So
excellent.
When did we order this one?
Less than a week ago.
Less than a week ago.
Oh wow!
And it arrived yesterday. I got the Animal Kingdom one as well.
Oh, cool.
And you can get and we're playing with the different designs of the different types of t-shirts as well. So because that's a V-neck.
This is a fitted V-neck one. Is the one that I got, rather than the classic design.
Yeah. Thanks, Wendy. Wendy says
that's brilliant.
And we'll post a picture. Appreciate that, because actually, I think one of the things that we're hoping is the fact that this becomes something where you can take your t-shirt and you actually just get a picture taken in lots of different nice places.
Yeah.
And doesn't even have to be Walt Disney World.
No.
Paris. It could even be down the beach at your local place, but we'll do that. But Wendy, really appreciate that. And actually, yeah, here we go. The Watsons. Where do we get those t-shirts? Because
if you go to our website,
this is going to be a thing for 2022, Ben. Everyone's going to want a waffle on t-shirt.
Yep.
It's nice and simple.
If you go to our t-shirt, go to our website. It's gbmickeywaffle.com and /support. On there, you'll find everything that you can help us out with, all the links to everything. So whether it's you want to buy a t-shirt, whether you want to support us in the Wafflers Arms, whether you want to buy us a coffee, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Caramel latte preferably, but all our links to everything we do is on there. So the TeePublic and Redbubble are on there, and they'll take you straight. It's weird with TeePublic and Redbubble. You go on there, you can't search us by typing in Waffle On or Great British Mickey Waffle.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. But if you go through our website, the links are all on there, so you can go straight.
And it's much easier using that link.
And if you've never used Redbubble before, sign up for an account, and they'll give you, up to 20% discount.
Don't tell my family that. We'll be getting
You'll be getting that Epcot one, won't you?
That's all right. It'll keep our website going.
It will. One of the other things I would add, and this is because like I say, I'm a bit of a t-shirt aficionado, is the quality of the cotton of them is actually remarkably good. And having bought other t-shirts from other places supporting other podcasts, Mr. Mongello, I hasten to add, poor quality print. But hey, who am I to complain about other people's stuff? But this is the actual quality of the t-shirt, the quality of the print on it is absolutely superb, and
they're so comfortable as well. They really are.
I was surprised by it. I've got to say, the quality of it surprised me. So
I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like after it's been washed.
That'll be the next one.
That's true.
That'll be the next test.
Join us next week.
We discuss how about washing t-shirts. So we do have a question. Okay.
Oh.
On a serious note, if you go at the end of October and see the Halloween decorations, do they change over to Christmas? Yes, they do. Yeah. Normally, it's as soon as their last Halloween party is over.
Yeah.
It's either the next day or the day after that. So
yeah, and
it's very quick as well. But in some parks they'll start it before. I know Hollywood Studios started in mid-October because they don't really do any Halloween stuff. They can start putting the Christmas stuff up.
Because the Christmas parties at Magic Kingdom tend to start about the 8th of November, so they have to have a pretty quick turnaround. Because I think
it was about the 4th or 5th.
I think the last Halloween party is actually on the 1st of November, isn't it?
It depends on where it falls.
Depending on when it falls.
Yeah.
But it is a mighty quick turnaround. But that's a really good question, and actually, it is a real benefit. I know Neil and Karen have been out a few times at that time of year, purely because you get the benefit of the Halloween and then the very early Christmas parties as well. It's kind of a 2-for-1 experience, and it's absolutely spot on.
If we had our original
can I just say hello to Timothy Rainwaters, because he's back with us again as well. So thank you for joining us, Tim. Appreciate it. But yeah, it is a fantastic time to go, because you really get two seasons within one.
And if your budget stretches, you've now got 2 after hours parties you can go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, the resorts and I think parts of the Epcot, some of the Epcot decorations go up later in November.
It was really surprising. We stayed at Grand Destino this year, and we were there in 2019, but they hadn't had it decorated for Christmas in 2021. Well, in 2019 it was up, and we went earlier as well.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things. I think resorts are left to later in November. So
Which kind of makes sense, though, doesn't it? Because actually, if you're in a hotel, I was about to say something, and I thought, no, some of my local hotels, because we were near the seaside, they put the Christmas tree up mid-October and then start trailing Christmas party nights. Let's have that.
I'm just thinking October. Normally it's August, but
yeah. Well, certainly around it. It's about October, and it's that coach trip to the coast for a bit of winter Christmas, early winter Christmas. Doesn't it's not happening for me.
But I want to say thank you, John.
Thank you ever so much. Appreciate that. See, it doesn't take much. Just a collective hug on a Wednesday night. That's what we're all about, and it's.
Do you know what? You will get
you
the
will love
best.
it.
It'll be brilliant. You might just get first 10 days of November. You should get the first Christmas party or Christmas.
That first Christmas party.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That sounds good to me. I like that.
So,
I like that. Do you know, we're over half an hour
We're
in.
half an hour in.
Right?
Should we
Should we waffle?
We've put the t-shirt. We've actually talked a lot of sense for half an hour.
I think we should plug one more thing, just as there's a lot of people here.
Excellent. That's what I'm thinking, because this is the here, the now, and if you've got any semblance of following us at all, you've probably already fed off a lot of the excitement of what's coming this weekend.
Yeah.
I know I am.
And make sure that if whatever podcast platform you use, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, make sure you hit subscribe, because you're not going to want to miss this episode. And here's a little sneak preview.
Yeah. That's me done for the night.
Yeah. What a show we have coming out on Saturday.
And for those of you that have noticed the Epcot Pavilion and are a bit confused why the UK Pavilion in Epcot was there, you'll have to listen to it and find out.
Yeah, we had a big discussion of Epcot, Rose and Crown. Do you know?
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Do you know something? And actually, what came from the conversation was we found a friend. And she has, she'll be back. She'll be back with us. Yeah. She has just become such a. Listen to this show, and you'll understand why we've been so excited by this, and some of the stories, and some of the cast member stories. There's one moment in the show I never knew about at all that cast members did, and I'll never look at Tom Sawyer Island again.
And I'll be very careful when you park your car at Disney Springs as well.
Oh yeah! Oh goodness, yeah.
But that's all you've got. So it'll be out Saturday morning, 8 a.m. in the UK. It'll be going live on our YouTube channel at the same time. Yeah. So just make sure
amazing.
Yeah.
So, guys, what were we going to talk about tonight? Because actually, I think Jill's thinking we've given up on it altogether. But actually, do
you know what? I think it is something that has been quite controversial. Our topic for tonight is
Yeah.
Genie and Genie Plus.
Yeah.
It's
Why is it controversial, Ben?
because everyone wants this back.
Yes.
No.
What,
Thank you very much.
what was wrong
And
with it?
I would still love that. I'm going to start on this because this is. If I had a mini rant earlier, I'm going to have a full.
Soapbox.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Right. As someone who actually made completely full use out of the old paper fast passes, right? I know I had to be in the park for park opening, but you could absolutely max it out. You could do a complete holiday. And this is when my kids were younger. It's actually when I actually think my kids probably got pushed a little bit too far in trying to stay in the park.
You do the Toy Story Mania walk as well. It's like
Yeah.
there's that just walk. You just where you've got a cast member just looking at you going, walk slower. You need to walk, not run.
With your elbows out.
Yeah.
So can deal with that. I can deal with the whole notion of Fast Pass Plus was actually a cracking use of technology, a cracking use of actually allowing families to choose the time of the day that they wanted a Fast Pass. I thought that was a really good step in the right direction. We also found a way of making Fast Pass Plus work for us because obviously you had the time in advance that you could actually you could book it. And
It was that balance, wasn't it, between how many?
Yeah, and this has kind of taken off, and I think everyone's gone on the other side of this is because they're not quite understood exactly what Genie is all about. Genie is very similar to an extent to Fast Pass Plus, however, there is a paid for option. The paid for option is where I think the majority of people sort of detach themselves and go, no, this isn't right. It isn't Disney. It isn't what we have been brought up on for so many years, and it goes against that whole magical experience of being in the park and actually being able to choose that I want to be on something unless you pay for it. And it still rankles with me. It really, really does rankle with me as the fact that it's then going to, in a way, it's sort of aligning itself more with the Universal model, which again has a varying. It depends on what day of the week you want to go, what year of which week of the year you go.
This all started a couple of years ago when Disney changed their ticketing, when they changed their tickets from a standard price for the park to sort of seasonally, daily. It's like, okay, a Friday be more expensive than going on the Monday, and which we all probably will agree. There are a lot of people that visit Walt Disney World on an average day.
Yeah.
And I think capacity works in this. And I think there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. And I'm working in IT, I'm quite data driven. So I can see certain aspects of Genie that over time will evolve and will get better. But the downside to it, a lot of people are hesitant to use it. So without all of that data and information, it's not going to progress as the way as people might want it to, or as it's intended to.
And a lot of that information they already had from your magic bands. They knew exactly where you were going to go in the park. They really did sort of track you. And I know from experience, they knew where you'd been for the whole of a day within a park.
Well, this is the thing. You use the My Disney Experience app. You book your reservation. They know where you're going to be. You tap your magic band to buy something in a shop. They know where you are. They know how much you've spent, especially when you're charging into a room. So there is a lot of information. And we had a good experience, I'd say, with Genie and Genie Plus because we thought we're going to ignore what we knew with Fast Pass Plus and go at it completely differently.
Genie Plus itself, the paid-for version, is pretty much a digital version of the paper FastPass, except you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
In that you get up early, you get your first ticket, and then either 2 hours later or once you've used that first
you're entitled to
you,
Or
you
there's
get your
a
next
2 hour
one,
gap.
or
You get
there's a
your
2
next
hour
one.
gap.
But the downside of that, I don't want to get up early on my holiday.
Yeah.
I liked the frustration for me when this got announced was they're taking away my 60-day advantage from staying on site.
Yes.
Yes, I get a 2 hour advantage now at 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the day.
But now I have to be up.
But
at
now
7
I have
a.m.
to be focusing at breakfast that instead of enjoying my breakfast at Topolino's with characters and everything, that I'm on my phone booking the reservations for later in that day. It just doesn't fit. It's probably okay for if you're locals, but you're going to spend sort of $15 a day to get select attractions. From our experience, we found the individual lightning lane, which is another part of Genie, which isn't just Genie Plus. You've got the three aspects. You've got Genie, which is the free bit, which can help you. What we'll do? I've got this little video. I'm going to see how well this is going to work. So I might just take the chat off for a second.
Pause and restart the video.
Yeah. Okay. Hope everyone can see. So yeah.
So this is a normal Genie. This is normal Genie, the non-paid for.
And if your eyesight's really good, I was recording this at 5 a.m. in the morning, so I was up early on that day.
It was like the second day. You
choose your party, you choose your park, where you're going. The frustrating thing about choosing the park is you've already had to choose your park reservation. So it doesn't all... You have to go in and choose, again, what it is, even though I think you should already know, because it should know that you've already got that reservation.
It would link with your park reservations.
But that's just something they should easily be able to change. Because I don't think it's yet designed as much for park hopping. You can use it for park hopping later in the day. But yeah, this is the free one, so you can just go and choose what attractions you might be interested in. This is normally what we would have done 60 days before in the old system. Wrote a list thinking, okay, what are my must-dos? What do I want to do? Choose your attractions, choose your entertainment, choose your dining. The whole point of it is like, I chose Remy, which was difficult to do at 5 a.m. in the morning because...
Did Turtle Talk with Crash this year?
And it doesn't let you choose too many, so you can't choose, I want to do everything. Yeah. Because it can't recommend everything.
It's I can't remember the maximum amount of that you can choose.
I just kept ticking stuff that seemed interesting until it told me I couldn't choose anymore.
It's also nice to see that Voices of Liberty have got on that list as well, which is also a lovely reopening as well, just in passing.
Yeah. And then you get the next bit, which is interests. So this is where it's not specific on attractions. It's like, okay, are you a fan of fireworks? Are you a fan of princesses?
Which, to be fair, for some parks, some of those choices are not applicable.
I have to admit, you can't really choose fireworks within the Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to choose Pixar when you're anywhere but Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Maybe Magic Kingdom.
So you get the options here for your height requirements, your accessibility. So it will then, when you can choose, this is the virtual queue, because we chose Remy's Road Adventure. It says that I had to come back on the app at 7 o'clock to see if I can get the slot, and which luckily on that day...
Spoiler alert, we did.
We did. So that was the free Genie. This is the bit where it now tells you can enhance your day buying Genie Plus for $15 a day.
Yeah.
So it's there if you want it, and I think there are certain parks where I think it would be useful. We used it in Magic Kingdom because we thought that would get, when you think of the attractions, that's going to get you sort of your best option.
On the most things.
And once you've done that, you've got your tip board and in My Day at the top, so you can see what it's going to recommend. But I filled this in before 7 a.m. and it didn't update until 7 a.m. what my selections were once it fitted in where my slot was for Remy.
Okay.
So
yeah, the free version of just the normal Genie is,
I think it's really accurate. How many times that we would actually...
Very accurate, actually. The wait time section of it.
Okay.
And the predicted wait times.
And telling you when to go back. And it's like, okay, here's your wait times. You should go and do this here. You should do that then. It actually works really well. So even just using the free bit of it, I think that's a good benefit for people to... I know there's a lot of people on social media and people who've come across going, I'm never going to use it, it's paid for. It's like, there is a free aspect to it. As with most things now, there's a free bit, but they tell you at the end that if you want more, you've got to pay for it.
It's that pushing you towards the paid for bit. Now, as and that's the bit I have an issue with. I put my cards on the table many times about that. The one thing I would also add is the fact that they've got a few years worth of experience of what the old Magic Bands actually predicted of where people would go in the past. So they basically bled the IT system dry. And I was looking at you as you're clicking on each of those ones. I was thinking, at which moment does my mobile phone just explode with just the thought of just like, I've clicked that Disney got.
See, I think what would be interesting going forward in development of Genie would be what they could do is, I like the 60 days benefit of being on site. I like to plan. I like to know what's happening, because then it's okay. Why can't they extend this when the data gets to a point that they are happy that they can predict what's going to happen in 60 days? Why can't they do that? Because there's a lot of perks that have been taken off staying on site. Because we used to have the free Magic Band, we used to have the 60 days
extra magic hours, morning and evening, every day,
regardless of resort,
free
parking. And it's one of those things.
Don't get me started on that one.
No, that's our Wednesday on its own. But yeah, it is one of those ones that's quite. I just want to see what the end result is, apart from Disney getting more money out of it, because I know that's where a lot of people. It is where it is at the minute.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Now, the paid for Disney Plus.
That's true. Let me get the
Would.
I'm very much in the old camp. Everybody would know that. I loved the paper fast passes. I loved the fact that, and I think Claire mentioned this either in the podcast or on one of the Wednesday shows. I love the fact that if you had an extra fast pass that you hadn't used, you could actually share just that little bit of magic.
Yeah.
And actually find a family as you're exiting the park, as they're entering, and you could actually give them. But don't if you like Big Thunder Mountain, but we've got these. Go and enjoy. And there was something. Yeah. There was some form of share.
We did that in Disneyland Paris.
So we did that in Disneyland Paris, and the couple we gave our tickets to looked at us like we'd grown an extra head. So
what do you mean you're giving me something for free? It's just, but it was just nice to just sprinkle a bit of magic.
Take them so you don't have to stand in the hour-long wait.
Just want to answer Gumpy Git's question. Yes, you can park up. It's at 2:00 every day. You just go on the app. You can see if there's availability. We never struggled with any.
No.
Sort of
we didn't do a whole lot of park hopping on our last trip, actually.
That's true. But it was quite easy to do. You go on the app and you can see if there's availability. I think the only trouble you'd probably have is if it's like around Christmas and there might be capacity limits. But
then can I ask as well, because this goes back to the park reservation for that particular day. If you get to 2:00, you've had a park reservation in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Do you then need to get a reservation for elsewhere, or is it just a possibility?
No, it's just a possibility. At 2:00, all parks are open until unless they say that they're closing.
So they're expecting that fluidity between guests who are already spread across 4 parks, where probably there'd be about 3 to 5%, I would imagine, would decide that they're going to park up. Okay.
Yeah. We didn't, but I think that's maybe because we knew that if we're in a park by 2:00, I might as well stay in the park and carry on.
Yeah.
It's that difficult one. It's like we'd either go Disney Springs or we'd do. But going back to Genie, using the paid for, we did it once, and
we picked the wrong day.
Yeah.
And you're still paying the mortgage off as a result.
We did pick the wrong day. We picked a day that we had a dessert party booked and a lunch booked.
Yeah.
If I was doing it again, I'd make sure I didn't have either of those and I was going quick service, just so I could...
So you can max out on that?
Max them out, max out the times.
We did quite well, actually, I think, with what we did. But...
got to a certain point of the day when the return times were...
When our dessert party was.
Yeah, 4
so it's like we
hours
couldn't get...
In the future.
Okay.
So, but that was more of a planning thing of like, okay, if we have a day that's free... Yeah. We actually didn't book the reservation for food until we were in the park either. Yeah. So we didn't know when that was going to be. So that was quite good. We had a good meal. But it was good. We managed to have...
How many did we get?
4 or 5? I'm trying to think. 4 or 5 attractions. I think that through Genie Plus. But a lot of it gave us the flexibility. We booked it, a bit like with FastPass, you then know when your next one is.
Yeah.
Once you've booked it, you then know, okay, what can I fill this time with? So you then look at attractions, you look at... and
you build your day around.
Yeah, and then the app, when you go into it, tells you what it recommends at that time. Sometimes it was annoying because, no, I don't want to go and do this show. No, I don't want to go and do that again. It's, no, I'm not going to Small World. No, but it's one of those things. It's nice to be told, especially if it's fun. I think Disney have got a difficult thing trying to find that balance, because you're going to have a lot of new people that have never been to Walt Disney World before, don't know what these attractions are. They're going to. It's a good thing they can open the app and go, from my recommendations of choosing princesses, pirates, and fireworks, it can help them choose a day. Instead of them just going, oh, that's got a long queue, that's got a long queue. But actually the queues, even though I know Disney are saying they're probably not inflated, they are.
10-15 minutes.
More than I think what they are. Every time we did a queue,
a lot of them.
Big Thunder was always posted 45 to 60. It was about half an hour every time. So
The one thing I will say though is, you said we said we did about 5 attractions on our Disney Plus day. We also managed to do 5 attractions
in a row
on the extra Magic Evening hours.
Yeah.
That were available for Magic Kingdom in about an hour.
Yeah.
So it's, if you stay at a deluxe resort and you get access to extra evening hours, use them. Actually, doing that is much better, I find, than
Yeah.
And also, we went a couple of days later. We went to Epcot, and it was raining. So you know what happens in most parks: everyone disappears. We did 4 or 5 attractions in an hour.
Now
Later in the evening.
And that was without Genie Plus.
That was without Genie Plus, and that was without the magic hours.
So
It's completely dependent on the day.
So intriguing, though, isn't it? Because actually, we're being told, and you're being pushed towards this. We've had the whole of the fast pass queue sort of removed, and it's basically now it goes back to, I still think it's like the Universal one, where you basically you're walking past everyone who's in the standby queue, and you're going, hey, it's just like I'll avoid me, sort of like, because actually that you're getting run right dead quick. I can think of back when Men in Black opened in Universal, we went, and it was just like there was like hours worth of queues, and we were just like, oh, we paid for that.
In they go. I booked the hotel, it gets it included. There you go, it's done.
And it is pretty much like,
it's a bit like,
Universal,
I have to,
except
the lightning lane, which is the queue you get in, there are 2 different parts of it. So you've got the one if you pay $15 a day, or you can buy some attractions aren't included in that, and you have to pay them individually. So they're like Flight of Passage, Rise of the Resistance.
Your e-ticket attractions.
But one thing I would do, we've said this for our next trip, we're not going to go Genie Plus.
No.
It's not worth it for us. I will rather pay $15 to ride Rise of the Resistance than I would for a whole day of Genie Plus.
I think I can understand the theory behind that.
Because if I was to spend $15 a day for both of us, that's $30 every day in each park, so for the whole trip. I don't think I would get the benefit out of it. I really don't think it would.
But if you cut your queue time for Rise, and you're then able to ride it quite quickly, it opens up the rest of your day for the park, and you're likely to be able to get a lot more time in the park. I can see you thinking there, right?
And from a UK perspective now, there's an add-on for if you've got the 2022 tickets, you can add Genie Plus on for $6.99 a day, but you have to add it on every day of your trip. You can't pick and choose each day. So we would say, work out when you might want to do it, and do the $15 a day on whenever you want to. Pick and choose. It's not needed for every day of your trip.
It's not needed for every park either. I mean, Epcot and Animal Kingdom probably have the least amount of Genie Plus available attractions.
And it's different because we book 2-week trips.
But especially
we're not going for 4 days. We've got 2 weeks to fit Rise of Resistance in or other attractions.
if it's not Flight of Passage,
Exactly. And that's the one that you
keep
want,
it out,
isn't it?
and actually, it's really going to be an absolute pain in the backside for
Are
me.
you really going to pay $15 a day to do tough? It's tough to be a bug.
Yeah.
And also, depends what time of the day you get there.
Pay the $8 for Flight of Passage.
Because in the morning, remember it's a full day. So if you don't get to the park till like 3, 4 in the afternoon because you're having a lazy day or gone shopping in the morning, and it starts from the day and resets at midnight.
Yeah.
So all you could do, get to Animal Kingdom at 4 o'clock, see what's available. Oh, it's tough to be a bug. You've paid $15 per person to go
It's not gonna work,
to
is
do
it?
that. So I personally would say don't go for the £7 a day one. If you've got a UK ticket, wait till you're there and buy individually. And
Yeah.
But that's
see
£7
what you want to do.
£7 per person
yeah.
for whole of trip. So if you're on a 3-week ticket, that's a hell of a lot of money. And it's just the whole maths of that is just completely wrong.
It's that they're pricing it in the way that it's cheaper than $15 a day,
Yeah.
but
No.
you don't need it every day.
No.
And I think that's where you need to. It goes back to that planning side of it and how you do
many
it.
times am I going to use this?
I've got to say, guys, this for me is so important because you guys have actually been there. You've actually experienced it. You've bought it. I haven't. I'm sat in the UK. I'm still looking at the next Disney trip. I'm still deciding exactly what do I do without FastPass because it's something that I'd actually used and it's something I actually felt I got maximum value out of. I would never deny that. I'm looking at this and I'm looking at what you're saying to me tonight, and I'm thinking this is so useful in actually putting together exactly where my next trip's going to be. I know Grumpy Old Git's actually in the chat as well, thinking about different things as well. They've got a trip booked. This is something I think that is so important that people actually. I didn't know until you said that they're going to charge you £7.
Yeah.
From a UK perspective.
So make sure you get the ticket without Genie Plus because it's attractive because I think it works out on a 14-day ticket about £100 more. But then it's like, okay, it's £100, but then it's like, okay, but
That's per person.
That's per
so
person.
if you're a family of 4, that's an extra £400.
But that doesn't
If you only wanna
include
use
Rise, the Resistance, Flight of Passage, Space Mountain.
Seven Dwarfs, Everest, Mickey
But
and
they're
Minnie's,
the
and
ones that were
Ratatouille.
booked
Yeah.
on the old FastPass. They're the ones I used FastPass for because actually they were the ones that they were for a whole family.
Yeah.
They were the ones that were on the list of like you'd want to go and do Space Mountain. You'd want to go certainly. You want to go and do Rise. You'd certainly want to go and do Flight of Passage, and obviously with Ratatouille as well. You've actually got so much there that's so missed out by Genie, and
I think they're as with everything, we got used to the FastPass system on its quirks and how to be awake at 5 a.m. in the morning to book, and certain things and how you'd book and choose what works for you. You've got to work out what fits into your trip because I think for us, I'd rather pay $15 or $8 or $7 for individual attractions that I know are my must-dos. And that's what I would budget for the trip, not Genie Plus. Because you do get a couple of extra benefits of Genie Plus. You do get the audio and the video things, which we didn't use. We didn't see them as a benefit. I think they're just an additional tool.
They're just there if you're bored for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. I'd think about doing Disney Plus again. That's what I meant. Genie Plus again. Only if it got to the last couple of days of our trips and we hadn't done hardly anything that we wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really good call as well, isn't it?
And the best
if
thing...
If you're on a longer trip, I'd wait.
When they announced
those last
it,
few days.
I was quite happy that they announced it for Rise of the Resistance because that was our big thing of the trip.
Yeah.
Because we'd just missed out by about a month in 2019 that we didn't get to ride it. So by knowing that worst case scenario I can pay $15 and we're going to travel all the way and ride it, then get thrown out of a boarding queue at 7 a.m. in the morning because the app didn't work properly. But one thing, the app works better. Now it's then when we're
Oh,
out there,
change
we
whatever.
didn't have any issues with it crashing or just it was amazing, really was.
And that's maybe another thing as well, Ben, and that's maybe looking at where Disney's IT. I'd like to think. I know I've been very critical of it in the past. Maybe there is that amalgamation of systems, and maybe it is now a sense where they've actually got it to a case where so much is interlinked that it can do it. It's Thank you, Neil and Karen.
We live to serve.
Yeah, but if anyone has any questions, just send us a DM, send us a message.
We'll ask them,
We'll
ask
happily
what
chat
we
you
can.
through it. It's the problem is you type in Disney Genie on Google trying to get an explanation, and it's difficult because it's I'm trying to be impartial, but also it's something that we're all passionate about because but no, we've got so used to being what FastPass Plus was, and we knew the system inside out.
Yeah.
This is so
Inside
new,
out, back to front,
and
all those
a lot of us
things.
haven't yet been there to experience it.
Yeah.
And we've only done it for one day because I have to admit I was satisfied with the fares we did on a trip.
Yeah.
The queue times that were long, given an average November, but the actual queue times weren't.
And that's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
Don't be scared by what looks like a long queue. They move quickly. They don't space you out like it did during when they first reopened, but the queues look like they do. They don't make the full use of the queue, so it's spilling out everywhere, which makes you think the queue's longer.
And that goes back to the fact that previously, especially the paper version was quite easily managed because there was a set amount of FastPass tickets for the day, and that was it. With FastPass Plus, they kind of spaced out, and then particularly in Magic Kingdom, if it rained, you'd then find that the FastPass queue would be absolutely done for the rest of the day. And if you're in standby, you could actually be stood for 2 or 3 hours for certain rides, not being actually given any capacity because they were trying to get a lot of the FastPass Plus through the whole system.
Yep.
I reckon we're in and I'm going.
I think Disney have actually said that there won't ever be a ride that ever hits capacity. So there will always be that option to pay for the attraction to ride. There will always be. So whether you paid for it, but how long is that? How long will that lightning lane be?
I will say, because you saying that's just made me think. When a ride does go tech or it does go down for one reason or another, we had this was our first FastPass. Keep calling it FastPass. Our first Genie Plus of the day was Splash Mountain, and it went tech. It didn't open.
Yeah.
So you get what is essentially an open,
which was
Genie Plus.
The same as the old one, multiple experience.
Yeah, multiple experience attraction, so you can go on anything.
But the bonus was it then let you go back on it later as well.
Yes.
Right,
So it wasn't like the old one where once you've used it, it then doesn't let you on that one at a later point because the problem with the FastPass Plus system was that it would then block you for the rest of the day going back on that attraction. Yeah. And I know Genie Plus only lets you use one per day, but because it went tech, it lets you use it again. It doesn't count it as one that you've used.
Okay. All right.
So there was some.
I can understand it. I think as well, and I think this is why this is such a worthwhile conversation because you guys have done it and you've actually been through it, and actually I think there's a load of people at home who are actually just already looking at the numbers involved in this and actually thinking, right, that makes a little bit more sense. It makes it certainly for me.
Yeah.
And I know we've discussed it privately and stuff. I have a little bit more knowledge in which I can now go and try and plan a park day.
Yeah.
I still feel a little bit unsure about the park reservation system because I think that is something I know the Watsons had mentioned in the chat as well about the 3-week ticket not being available. And again, that's sort of pushing people towards the American ticketing situation. Yeah. What I was going to say, because I think we started this off talking about an awful lot of sort of Americans' tickets and it being influenced. and a lot of accountants who are probably sat for Disney thinking how we can max it out. They're not particularly thinking about the British market at all at the moment. They're just trying to get a lot of people.
That's where that add-on for £7 come in, because
Yeah.
it's like, we've got people from the UK that can now come back here.
Yeah.
They're not going to be willing to pay £15 a day.
Yeah.
But there's another one as well where for people who are Florida resident, there is actually from yesterday they've started a two-day ticket for $149, which is only valid Monday to Friday up until Easter, with a block out on the 14th to the 18th of March, and it's just basically looking at trying to get locals in and trying to keep that whole. I can totally understand,
because you still, I don't get at the minute that you still can't get an annual pass.
Yeah, they just need.
They paused it before Christmas because of capacities, and it hasn't yet been reinstated. And I'm surprised that instead of a new ticket offer, that they didn't just put the annual passes back on sale, because there's lots of people that I know that have recently moved to Florida, and it's like they now can't get an annual pass.
Yeah.
And it seems silly that they have to spend $120 a day. They want to go to the Magic Kingdom.
But why? And you can. That's why Disney are doing it. It's just like it's trying to get cash. Yeah. Like it or not. And this sounds a really bizarre thing to say, but within the environment that we're actually living, Disney is still needing an instant cash flow before the end of the financial year in order to ensure that. And I could pretty much imagine once we get I think it's the Disney earnings call is due in about
March the 9th, I think.
Yeah. Once we get that out of the way, then I think we'll probably end up seeing annual passes coming back. But they're just trying to get as much money and liquid money into the company just now. Because with an annual pass, you put the money out there, and they've no real control about exactly what happens with it. They want to have control. It's like a 3-day ticket. That 3-day ticket is going to be used by April. That's fine. We can sort that out and then move on. It from a business perspective, you can. It pains me to say it in some ways. You can understand. From a tourist perspective, and from a Disney fan perspective, it goes against everything that we've really grown to love and grown to enjoy about being, having that choice, and I think that's the biggest thing. I'm not even going to go there, grumpy old git, with that.
You never know. Bob Chapek apparently might be a caretaker CEO.
I've that'd be another half an hour show. Just having
only half an hour. But
and it's.
Think what else we've got coming from Disney this year. Like we spoke last week, there's so much stuff that Disney have got in the pipeline that we want Disney to have more money so they can get on with Tron, so Guardians can finish, so new stuff can happen. Because we've all been through a pandemic, we're still going through it, and from a maybe that might be a Wednesday show. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll do.
Who do we think will be the new CEO of Walt Disney World?
Well, the thing is, our timing of the Wednesday show isn't right for that day because.
Hang on a second. Wait a minute. I'll get my phone. There we go. Yep. I'm all right. I'll start it off now. Here, Walt Disney World. Because I could do a better bloody job than Bob Paycheck. That's it. That's the bit that really annoys me. It's just.
Put me in charge for a week. I'd see what happens.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
It's Rumpelstiltskin.
John, have you seen this?
I think I might start calling you Mr. Gold.
I'm not going to bite. I really am. Actually, it's probably worthy of a show all of its own, and I think
I think we should do like we've said. I think recently we should do like an armchair Imagineering sort of. If we were in charge of Disney, what would we do?
Yeah, and
I think that would be be quite good.
I think it's well. I think we mentioned this. I think it's Grumpy Old gets just.
Okay, there we go. Grumpy Old get his Bob Chapek.
Yeah. I think the other one as well that we did mention, and we actually, I've just made the train of thoughts totally gone. And we were talking about it last week, and it was talking about CEOs, talking about exactly where you see the parks going, and yeah, it's just everybody has got their own opinion, and everybody's got a different slant on exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this guy has taken over a company that we love. He doesn't appear.
It didn't go well the first few times because as soon as he took over, the Small World clock broke and Jungle Cruise sank.
And then there was also Splash Mountain sinking as well. Wasn't there? It was just like there's a bit of a clue in there as to exactly where it was going. I just feel that I think there's so many people who love Disney. I think we all recognise that these are trying times, and actually.
Fast Pass evolved into Fast Pass Plus, so Genie Plus can evolve into something else down the line. Something will change, and also if people are going to the parks and paying for it, why would Disney change?
I think as well, Ben, and don't get me wrong, because actually I'm as much very much down the line of being historical Disney and yearning for holidays that from 10 odd years ago. Yeah, change has to happen, and if you're not prepared to accept that every park has to evolve, every hotel has to evolve, the water parks need to evolve. It can't afford to stand still, because actually it's a massively competitive market that they're within, and it needs to move on. I want to see. I would love to see so much of what was announced in that 2019 D23. Yeah, was it 2019? It must be 2019.
2019. It was our fifth podcast. We discussed that.
But some of the things that were so exciting, and we knew were going to be expensive. We knew they were going to be expensive. And I would love to see as much of that come to fruition first, before the company moves on and tries to change. We all know what I'd love to see a nighttime parade back in Magic Kingdom.
What I want is them to announce these things and put dates on them. Yeah. So we can hold them accountable to when they're going to open.
Yeah. I'm with the grumpy old Kit there. I think without being political, but you've nailed it there, mate. I tell you, that's exactly what it is, and that's as much as you're sort of treading on eggshells, as well as what's announced and what is said. And until that railroad rides once again around Magic Kingdom,
I don't think that'll be much longer. I really don't. As soon as Tron is,
but I think as well. I think that to me is the sign of recovery of the park, because what was really apparent is the fact that once the railroad disappeared, there hadn't been that whole thing of, oh bother, this is going to take a whole lot of time. But those trains have been really offline for so long.
And I'll tell you what, they sound an awful lot like the horn on the ferry boat, because in Magic Kingdom I thought, wait, that sounds like the train, and no, it isn't. It's the Liberty Bell. Yeah, it's just missing that sound, missing that atmosphere.
It's been so long since we've heard them, we got very confused.
Or it's something that you miss.
Yeah, it is. It is massively. Certainly on our last trip in 2019, that was something that, whilst you're taking photographs of the Tron ride being constructed,
you know what's missing and what's not happening.
It's just there. It really is. Patricia. So we're going to have to carry on for another hour. Just have a chat to Patricia for another hour.
Maybe actually, I just thought in March we'll have that week where there's only a 4-hour time difference. So maybe we could go for a longer show, or maybe not.
Either that, Ben, or we could have like.
Or do we start an hour later? I'm not sure.
I
want to thank everyone for joining us tonight, and I'm guessing YouTube's been quite stable because no one's commented saying that they've been chucked out.
This is true,
and that's why we're trying this out. And it as much as it's a pain in the bottom.
Yep.
I think we're trying to understand exactly why these issues keep happening. If it is a Facebook thing, then okay, we'll work around it. Yeah. Thank you very much to YouTube tonight, because actually it has been completely stable and the chat's been stable. And I know we probably haven't had as many people watching us tonight as we do
Because
general.
some people watch on Facebook, some people watch on YouTube. So make sure that anyone who's watching tonight, make sure you are following us on Facebook so you can watch us next week at the same time. And subscribe on YouTube because then you'll get the notification anytime we go live.
Just in case it doesn't work next week.
You never know. But yeah, if like 5 minutes in,
jump over to YouTube.
Positivity for next week.
we have a backup.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't trust it.
I think that's a good one. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. But we will be back.
I know.
We will.
And as we mentioned
Sorry.
ages ago, did they go back and
Actually, I know something we haven't mentioned, which I thought we might as well say that. I want to say thank you for everyone that has subscribed to us on YouTube, because over the weekend we went over 500 subscribers.
Woo.
So I'm hoping anyone that's in the chat now has subscribed. If not, after the show tonight, hit that subscribe button and get us closer to 1,000. I can't believe saying that. That's just
That's the next goal.
that's weird.
I just, and I think all of us are just very much of an opinion that, you know, as much as we've never been about numbers and things like that, to actually get to that stage and have that, for us, it sort of took our breath away, and it's so appreciated. All your comments tonight, always appreciated. And if you're watching on the catch up because you missed us on Facebook, then join us in the Wafflers Arms. Come and have a chat to us. Give us the feedback. We're desperately seeking a bit of feedback about this as to where we can actually make the best use of our Wednesday shows.
Yeah.
But like I say, I think Facebook have done us proud tonight because it's actually we've stuck there and we've been able to waffle for ages.
I know.
We have.
It's because Claire's not here saying that we've got to finish.
He's got Claire would still be going on about Disney Plus. She'd be wanting to plan the next trip. She'd be wanting to find the finer details as to
actually that's going to be interesting. Claire's got a short 5-day trip.
Yeah.
So would actually a shorter trip benefit of it? But actually, or are you best just going and just enjoying the 5 days?
Hey, that's a good call. Yeah. Hey, do you know? We're on to something. There we go.
Yeah,
So
Claire needs to vlog her Genie experiences when she's out there.
If you thought Genie Plus was a one-off show tonight, don't worry, it's coming back later in the year.
Yep.
Patricia, thank you for your lovely comment. I really appreciate it. We are all a true family, and I think that is something that I think we've all learned so much.
John's the crazy uncle.
Yeah, but it's that thing that, you know, whereas you guys have been across, you've met so many of our friends across the pond, which is such a lovely feeling. We're stuck. I've been stuck here, but I feel so close to so many people that, you know, it's only talking on a Wednesday night and on a podcast can actually bring you closer to people that you've never met, and it's lovely.
I know.
It really.
It's mad.
I can't wait to on our next trip. We're going to meet more people, and including our next guest on our podcast, Katie.
We will.
Yeah.
And I've got to eventually go into the Rose and Crown where I've never
She's
been.
going to lead me astray in that Rose and Crown, you know. That's it. I could quite imagine that's going to be a bit of a yeah. I'm well prepared for that.
July, yep, not long.
Yeah, oh dear.
May.
6 months today.
Pick one.
I know. I'm so tempted.
I think there's just one thing left to say.
As always.
And it says on your t-shirt. Wait.
It's on the t-shirt.
Waffle on.
Waffle on.
Waffle on.